Hello everyone, I'm Rachel and I welcome you all to Executive Corner Expert Talks. Today I'm speaking with Guy Chamberland, CEO and Chief Regulatory Officer of Tetra Bio-Pharma, and he's joining us from Canada today. Now Tetra is focused on drug development programs in inflammation, pain, ophthalmology and oncology. And here at Kalkine, we bring you industry leaders, successful business owners, market and equity advocates, all under one roof to help you discover the insights of the stock market and help you understand how you can create multiple passive income streams. Welcome to you, Guy. Great to speak with you today.
Yes, great to speak with you as well. I love the images behind you.
That's Australia for you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Now, firstly, could you tell us about Tetra Bio-Pharma's global leader status in cannabinoid-derived drug discovery and development, please?
Sure. Tetra Bio-Pharma, since its, I guess you could say, incorporation and starting down the pharmaceutical path in 2016, we developed, I guess, a real intellectual property and a lot of clinical data around the inhalation of cannabinoids. We're probably the world leader in delivering even botanical, which is our quick sleeve drug. So it's almost like a dried cannabis bud product, but in this case, it's a prescription drug. So we've developed that technology, have patents around the composition and use as well of the aerosols that are delivered to people. And then in 2019, we acquired a small biotech called Panag Pharma. They had been spending over 20 years of research on the cannabinoid molecules. They had multiple patents, granted patents. And this for us was really important, including an Australian patent that was granted for the cannabinoids for ophthalmology and immunomodulation. So this is what, together with our, I guess you could say, the science we've generated and our intellectual property portfolio, makes us really a world leader in this.
Excellent. And could you talk in more detail about your product pipeline, particularly your two oncology products? Could you tell us what stage they're at and their commercialization?
Yes, the Reduvo product, we filed the new drug application last year, so it's been about 1 year since we submitted that to Health Canada. The review is going well, so we expect to receive, I guess, the verdict sometime early next year. This would be here in Canada a prescription drug of THC, oral THC. So this is what a lot of pain patients have been waiting for, and a lot of patients with chemo-induced nausea due obviously to the chemotherapy. So this is really something that I think both physicians and patients will really look forward to. Our lead molecule in the drug development is really our quick sleeve. This product is in 2 phase 2 trials that have been authorized by the US FDA. What's really interesting about the quick sleeve in these studies is we're studying them in a cancer patient population. The first one, the Plenitude trial, is actually in advanced cancer patients. And there we're really looking at the ability of quick sleeve to give, other than say a better quality of life, really to relieve the chronic pain that's caused by the cancer. And this is what we will refer to as, say, the background pain. So they're always suffering from this pain. Physicians will prescribe various, opioids to try and relieve this pain. The other trial is the Reborn. This is a very, I'd say, from an international point of view, it's actually a first time that anybody goes really in a trial comparing its efficacy to immediate release opioids. And what's really interesting about inhaled cannabis, which is our quick sleeve, is that it mimics the speed of delivery to the patient, actually mimics the shape of the pain from what we call the breakthrough pain. So this is a pain that kind of like a very acute, sharp pain that breaks out of the background pain. So our inhaled delivery is so fast that we can actually mimic the pain. So we're hoping to show that we can actually reduce pain in parallel, obviously, to the patient's other medications. And that's key, because if you're looking at using a drug like quick sleeve in the fight against opioids, just being able to reduce pain in this type of severe patient population will in itself be a hell of an advancement.
And an interesting fact about quick sleeve as well is that you had a very positive opinion from European Medicines Agency. What can you tell me about that?
Yes, I think that in itself is very interesting because of all the, the battles that many companies are having with the European agency just to get medical cannabis recognized. Whereas in our case, we took a pharmaceutical drug approach going down, the medicines pathway. So we have now two, let's say, positive verdicts from the European agency. The first one was a positive opinion saying that they analyzed basically our drug development program and agreed that if we're able to deliver on the science that says in that program, that the package would be receivable for a prescription drug status. This obviously is very interesting for us as a company. The second one that came out last week is an opinion from the European Commission that basically granted us an orphan drug status for Quicksleaf, again showing the I guess you could say the receptiveness of the European Medicines Agency for a cannabis drug.
And if we could just go back to Reduvo now, how is the launch progressing and what are the sales expectations for the first year expected on that?
Well, right now we're preparing basically with what we call the medical science liaison officers. We have to train them. We also do a lot of ad boards. So we're preparing our strategy to go out and get here in Canada, we have provincial insurance for the medicine so that it's basically, let's say, affordable for all Canadians. So we're preparing our data package for that. And obviously we have to negotiate the price of reimbursement. So this is what's going on in parallel. And then it's basically, like I was saying, getting the medical science liaison personnel to be ready to go out and explain the Reduvo drug to physicians and how it works.
And what can you tell me about the current status of the cannabidiol drug market and what's a general update for your company?
I'd say that this market's going to grow, and one reason I say that is based on the data we see. I mean, if I look at our ARDS-003 program, which is an immunomodulator, we've managed to discover so much about its potential, as much as in the ocular pain and inflammation market, but also in multiple conditions that involve, say, very acute or very chronic inflammatory conditions. And these are huge markets. But once we make it, let's say as a company, proving the results of our Reborn trial, I think that will be a very big game changer for shareholders because it'll be the first time that anybody really compares in a well-designed trial their basically inhaled Quicksleaf, which is a cannabis drug, directly to immediate release oral opioids. And that's kind of the benchmark. That's the gold standard in medicine for treating these very severe acute pains.
And just finally, Guy, what can you tell potential or existing investors about the pipeline for Tetra Bio-Pharma?
Well, one of the things that Tetra has is a very solid pipeline that's patent protected. And patent protection is many times underestimated by investors and shareholders. What you have to look at is really what we call the freedom to operate. Even if I have a single patent, I may not be able to operate without a license from anybody else. So these are things we built into the concepts of creating a cannabinoid biotech company, just like GW Pharma did way back. And that's being sure that we have solid intellectual property and we have the freedom to operate in what we're claiming and what we're developing. And this goes from ophthalmic pain and inflammation to our pain control by inhalation to the composition of what's inhaled. And we continue to develop and generate, how could I say, more intellectual property to make the competition's life a bit harder. So if you want to come out and compete against Tetra, then you may end up having to require a license from us because of our intellectual property.
Well, it's absolutely very exciting work you're doing over there with Tetra. Thank you so much for your time today.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. And with that, I will sign off for today. But watch this space for more. Till then, stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.